Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Rational Investors TRI Crypto Countdown. TRI's Top 100 Crypto Review. TRI's got a weird name for this show. We still haven't figured it out yet. Anyway, welcome. I think there's only like two or three people watching, so welcome. Well, I think there's only like two or three people watching, so welcome. I'm probably one of those two or three people, but. I am here, just FYI, anybody, all the girls who are, of course, wanting to see our the handsome Ben on camera. Ben's traveling to the Down Under. Obviously, you heard it in his voice. So he's actually on an airplane right now, and he said if he was really lucky, he might be able to tune in from wherever he is in the skies right now and check in through Wi-Fi, but won't be on the show tonight. So it's just myself and the Romanian Nightmare. Romanian Nightmare is getting quite a following, though, from what I understand. People are just clamoring for more Paul, more Paul, more Paul. So, Paul, how you doing this morning? It's morning for Paul. Paul, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, it's morning for me. It's 4 a.m.
4 a.m. Holy dedication, Batman.
Yep.
Holy moly. So, welcome welcome to what I guess it's, is it your Thursday? Yeah, I guess it is your Thursday, eh?
Yeah.
Still Wednesday in my part of the world. But anyway, might be a little bit early to ask you how you're doing. You're probably still waking up, but...
Something like that, yeah.
I think what we'll probably do, I don't know, it might be a bit of a shorter broadcast today because it's just Paul and I. And of course, I don't think the crypto market's overly excited right now. So as a result, kind of quiet market. But maybe Paul's got some ideas for us to chew on. Who knows? So I think probably the first thing that we do is do a quick boo at our... fun little who can predict the future game we've been playing. And I do find it interesting that both the boys, in fact, you can see, man, they have been uber bullish here of late. And really, we were moving up nicely, but then something happened here this past week, eh? So here we are, Wednesday, August 17th. So I guess we'll fill in this, 8/17. 22. Price for some Bitcoins right now, if I wanted to buy some. Where's my little trading view thing? There it is. Not quite sure what exchange we get the quote off of, but we'll go with this right here. Seems perfectly fine. I always like to do the funny Tesla time, so my time charts are a little bit weird. But let's go on 1 hour, and of course we just had the top of the hour, so I think that's the price we're going to use. So beep, 23,461. We will use that number. 23,461. So, do I just drag this down? Let's see what happens if I do that. Hey, there we go. Minus 2.2%. How the hell do I get a gray reading here? Jeez, I thought I missed the market again. Jeez, I thought I was going to win this week. No.
Yeah, you are closer than me and Ben.
Yeah, well, you guys uber bulls. Jeez, I hope you didn't lose your house. I suppose that's why maybe Ben's
I
going
don't
back
trade
to...
my opinion. I learned that from
I just
someone.
trade his setups. What we find out is Paul was short the whole damn week.
Yeah, I was posting on Twitter.
All right, well, good. That's encouraging. So let's see. How did they do the? Let's see if I can figure out. So I just dragged that down. Maybe let's see what happens. So we lost $539 here through the past week. I guess that makes sense. You know, it's interesting. I mean, I sure hear a lot of people like really, really bearish. I don't know. I don't know whether I really want to become so bearish here. I mean, we've rallied, I guess, about maybe about 10-15% off the lows. And now all of a sudden I'm hearing other people just like becoming insanely bearish, which I find a bit odd. I would have thought that the market would have remained firm heading into that merge event. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the merge is still about a month away. Anyway, I don't know whether, I'm sure I did, but I'll give just a quick shill for the interesting for the website and our totally awesome. I mean, this blog is just second to none. It's so awesome. And I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record. I just keep going over the same thing over and over and over. But this one study has been such a fantastic roadmap for us this year. So I really like this political roadmap here. And, a second year new Democratic president. Of course, that's good old Sleepy Joe. And you can see basically into August, back and forth, and then coming out the backside of August. So, and I suppose people that are calling tops and looking for tops here, I suppose it makes sense. There are a lot of names. We have a stock pickers club last night, and a lot of names that we looked at in the stock pickers club all sort of suggested that we probably need to come down and test these lows over the next couple months. And then if we're lucky, we got a half decent rally into the end of the year. You can see, according to this study, we actually have to break new lows heading into that election. And I guess it kind of makes sense because there's a hell of a lot on the line here politically down in the States. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Democrats do things like, social unrest and all of a sudden, mysteriously, there's a new sickness that just seems to pop up out of nowhere that we all need to be locked in our prison cells over, that kind of nonsense. A lot on the line here. A lot on the line. So I would imagine that the banksters and all those kind of people that, are really trying to, drive their own agenda, Larry Finks of the world, all that kind of stuff. They probably want to juice the emotions here and try and freak people out enough that they go, oh, maybe it's too risky kicking out all the socialists. Maybe we better keep the socialists in power. That kind of stuff. Who knows? They always say that incumbents have a far better chance of winning than challengers. So anyway. We'll see how it goes, but I wouldn't be surprised if indeed we are running into some sort of top here, and we need to be thinking about down relatively soon. The question that I had was, of course, all about the merge, and if anything, maybe Josh. I should probably ask Josh maybe if he could do a blog post on the merge, because I do believe it's a fairly significant event. Also, too, kind of backing up that kind of cautionary cautionary tone in the marketplace. TRI's proprietary tools, market timing tools, our TRI breadth indicator, flashing a lot of big warnings. Oh boy, warning, Will Robinson, warning. Last May, I think it was April, May, we had a reading where the country funds all went uber overbought, both on the short and medium term, and the whole damn market rolled over there and just puked out big time. We haven't got the actual sell signals yet, but just, look at these indicators. And I used to put tweets out going, you can only stretch this thing so far. It can't go below 0, and it just can't go above 100. The Dow's still got some more wiggle room up here. But things like the transports, there is 100. You can't go much higher than that. And there's the utilities. They're just flatlining right against 100. And unfortunately, if everybody goes and buys and everybody's expecting the market to go up, who else is going to buy? If everybody's long, Well, unfortunately, then you have to go through the process of trying to encourage people to sell, and then some of them sell, and then that leads to more selling, and then more selling, and then everybody's short, and then that puts in the bottom, right? And it just goes back and forth, back and forth. So the point here is there ain't a hell of a lot more room to the upside for us to go here, folks. And considering that image that I showed you about the political backdrop and what usually happens around middle of August in the stock market. Be careful here. So the interesting thing, and what I also jumped out at me too, is it looks like the S&P 500, the big U.S. stock index, is actually starting to get up in there too. The interesting thing about this is if we scroll down to crypto, ironically enough, crypto's already broken. And I might even argue that, crypto is actually now starting to get kind of cheap. I wouldn't say the altcoins and the whole crypto universe, I wouldn't say it's oversold yet. So the universe could come down a fair chunk here. Don't get me wrong. And everything is pointing down. So I'm not really looking for a huge bull. And there were a couple things that I was interested in buying. Then I kind of went, you know what? I think I'm just going to pull my bids and just sit and watch for a while. And, even our lower leaderboard, it's kind of interesting, whether it be Doge, and if we look at something like Doge, you look at that chart and we have an expression, what are we supposed to think if we see the market smiling at us? That, unfortunately, usually is not a good thing. I don't think it, and here's the thing, right, is that, Doge has been going down forever. Which is so sad, all the people that got suckered into buying up top here. Yeah, this has been going down forever, but do you get like uber bearish here? I don't know. I could very easily see something like this just swim around here. Spend the next 6 months just sort of bobbing and weaving, and not really just doing a hell of a lot. Because hell, we're already at the bottom end of the range. I could see maybe we lose these lows and we have to dip down into this range. That wouldn't surprise me. It was interesting. We had things like bullish divergences starting to form. And, Willie's stupid, all that kind of talk. So I wouldn't fault anybody who actually came in and took a shot against these lows. But then if we go down to like a lower time frame, you go, okay, so, would that Beamish guy give me permission to come in and buy this up here? No, that. The answer to that already. And in fact, what's really interesting is hopefully you can see, look, there's a little bit of a gap right there. Now, do you want to look at this on Trex? Probably not. Trex is a dead exchange, so I would probably want to go over to like Binance or something. Let's see what we got there. Yeah, a little bit cleaner price action. Actually, this is a really good lesson for everybody. All 15 of you watching. Hey, Adam. Good to see you, buddy. We used to trade like on Trex, and this would be sort of the everybody was trading on this exchange. And then there would be like, what was that exchange out in New Zealand? Cryptopia, I think it was. Still waiting for like bankruptcy court settlements and stuff about those coins. Everything just disappeared about all that. I did find it interesting that people were getting excited about a settlement of Mt. Gox coins. That might be one reason why Bitcoin's topping out a little bit. People are worried about a bit of supply hitting the market. But the irony of it all is that I bet those people that actually had those Mt. Gox coins, if they actually got them back, I don't think many of them would actually sell. I think it would be vindication to them to keep holding on. So, anyway, my little anecdote fun story for you. We used to like trade on Trex, and then you'd go over to sites like, I think it was Cryptopia. I can't remember. I want to say that name, but it could have been something else. And the price charts there would actually be riddled with gaps. And the interesting thing is you could use the price gaps to help you sort of understand where they're going to bring price back to. This is unfinished business. And if I was, wanting to place stink bids in the marketplace and pick up some stuff on the cheap, that gap level right there is gold. That's incredible information. And maybe you don't even trade on Trex because you can see there's no gap here over on Binance. But if anything, it sort of gives you confidence that, well, is that a reload zone? Oh yeah, it turns out it is. There's a gap over on other exchanges. You might find that there's even gaps on a few exchanges, and that actually turns out to be a pretty darn important level. So, this probably, this image right here is probably a really good anecdote of crypto right now. I mean, do you really want it, like, anybody who actually went through all this, I mean, look at this. This is an absolute nightmare. But do you want to get all panicky and sell here? Because this is a new bear market? I don't think so. If anything, I'd almost be inclined to think that maybe this almost looks like big neckline, shoulder, head. There could be a shoulder here. Maybe we're going to do something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. And then, that's assuming that this is the top end of the range. Maybe over here, Mr. Wonderful announces that he's putting dog money on the planet Venus or whatever, puts in a W and takes off like a rocket. So I don't know whether being uber bearish here makes a lot of sense. Something just doesn't smell. It almost feels like that's the easy trade. And of course, usually the easy trade is the wrong trade. If anything, what I would be saying, and I know it absolutely kills you to hear this, but I would actually be saying, over the next 6 months, if you can somehow, so wait, what is it? It's August, so September, October, November, December, January, February, March. I'm going to say 6, 7, 8. Over the next 8 months, I think that this thing makes its ultimate saucer bottom and we start setting up for the next cycle. Yeah, it's probably going to look something along those lines. Maybe then another dip into the new year, and then we put in our double bottom, big, weekly W's, and away we go. So I know there are some people that are like, man, maybe we should just liquidate crypto and just get out and cash out. I don't know. I don't really want to sell there. That's kind of a stupid, well, I'm not going to use the word stupid. That's a bit much. But it just doesn't seem like a wise place to be liquidating crypto here. I don't know. Call me crazy. When it comes to something like Bitcoin, I will say, like I said, probably a lot of scuttlebutt about Gox coins hitting the market, and of course that's going to be a flood of supply. It'd be interesting. I had an interesting dinner with a gentleman last night who was very jazzed about the on-chain analysis, and I would be actually really interested to get the what happens to the on-chain analysis kind of data sets when you have something like what is it? It's like 180,000 bitcoins or something. I can't remember. Somebody probably have the number on YouTube when they hit the market like that. And what did the on-chain analysis kind of stuff do? I guess the way that I would look at this, one thing that concerns me is this is what's called a rising wedge, right? So you can see this is the top trend line up top here, and then the bottom one, and 1, 2, 3. Did that hit? I don't know. That's a tough one. 1, 2, 3. Starting to break through there. So unfortunately, rising wedges unto themselves are bearish. And then also, too, our sine wave. Remember last week I was humming and hawing, what the heck we going to do here? What's our prediction going to be for this coming week? And I noticed that we were heading down into this sine wave trough here. And then that was right at this sort of, it almost looks like a head and shoulders pattern now confirmed. So, we're in the grips of the down move. But I think that this down move actually comes to some sort of fruition in the next day or so. And what I see here, if we draw out the head and shoulders levels, something along those lines. Big rally overnight, and then failure. But this head and shoulders, right, the way you measure sort of where it's anticipated going, is you take a line from the neckline back up to the head, and then you replicate that off of the neckline level, and that gives you your ultimate target. Which is, according to what I see here, the ultimate target for this head and shoulders top is a 38.2 retracement, which is exactly what we teach. That's actually what you should expect at any given point in time. I keep telling everybody this over and over and over. Well, I mean, it's part of the education program. So, if anything, what you should all see this, if you're all TRIers watching this, you should go, well, I mean, there's the uptrend line. Boom, boom, boom. Can we come back and tag that again? Boom, there. 38.2s into that sine wave trough. It makes perfect sense to me. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here right now. And I guess I'll be like, my judgment of how Bitcoin is acting is whether we do that break, and then what does the counter trend rally on the other side look like? Kind of like this head and shoulders top that you see right here. I see a bigger head and shoulders top that looks something like boom, boom. Notice that low right against that 38.2. Boom. So it'll come back down against there roughly. Then you have your counter trend rally, and then, ultimately, what is this counter trend rally peak? I think that's going to be the ultimate determinant of whether this thing's actually done or not. And I still don't, I'm at, especially into the merge and all that. I would have thought that would have been a fairly bullish sort of window. So, maybe I put my right shoulder just a little bit lower than that left shoulder. I think that's usually how you want to do it. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here going forward. Don't know whether I really want to get too wrapped up in the orgy of bear right here. Because I think what ends up happening is we zip down and all the bears go, see, I told you so, told you so. And the damn thing rallies right back up into this window, and we sit and play here through the rest of the remaining of this summer. Right around this, 22, 23, 24,000 area. Also, too, you can think of a head and shoulders as a big fractal pattern. So another way for you to see the head and shoulders is, we'll take the bar pattern. Say we'll go off of that low all the way up to that high. So boom, there is that price action. All we're going to do is we're just going to flip it around. Boom. Alright, so now it's like literally the exact opposite of what you just saw. We're going to plunk this right on the high of the bar, and frankly speaking, I think that's not a bad roadmap over the next probably month or so. So, maybe for posterity, I'll just leave this on the screen. See how we do here. A couple other things, I guess, that I see here. That kind of, I don't really want to get too sucked into the bearish orgy here. Let's maybe just do it like that. I guess the first thing, the irony of it all is that actually I'm still long. So I'm technically bullish right now. I've had this long setup working for a while. I guess I strapped this on about a week or two ago. Had a nice little pop, hit the Foggenbaum level here, 2-to-1 risk reward, so I let half of it go. Then I've just been sort of trailing it, following the bot rules, and unfortunately, we keep making higher highs and higher lows, so there wasn't really any reason for me to get too skittish. And then, I don't know what it is, but you can see we were marching higher, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's like somebody pulled the rug out from underneath the market here. I get the impression that a lot of this rug pulling has a lot to do with Asia and what's going on in China right now, because it's getting a little crazy there. It's interesting how RSI is broken down here. Now, we have come down to sort of trendline support here. It actually might be interesting on the daily brief tomorrow morning to, Julian loves to use this RSI trendline kind of model thinking. My sort of application of RSI, I'm looking for W's to stop the bear, and you can see there was a little W last night. And actually, I was kind of half drunk last night and came home, and I looked at the price chart and I was kind of like, hey, this doesn't look so bad. I'm getting pretty excited here. I had, big W's coming in that fired yesterday. Was it the daily chart? I can't remember. Well, I suppose I can pull up the tweet. Where are we here? Let's see if I can do this on the run. Hey, there we go. Boom. All right. So, I was watching sort of a megaphone here on this chart. What is this? This is a 81-minute chart. So call that a Tesla 1.5 hour chart. But, momentum was looking pretty good here. And we had lots of W's. Willie was stupid. We were at the bottom of the megaphone. And kind of thinking head and shoulders. I thought, shoulder, head, neckline. I was looking for a nice little rally up here into a shoulder event. And here's what we got. I even, the tweet that I put out was candle body highs for trade location. If this is a head and shoulders, then that's the top of the left shoulder. It's a nice little rally up into this window. And, of course, that was at a megaphone level. It seemed logical to me. And that's what we got. And what was interesting, right, like I said, came home all full of alcohol and feeling all jovial. Saw the W come in on the break of the trend line, and I was like, all right, this looks good. And we rallied up, and I was sitting there going, all right, looks like the signal's working. And then all of a sudden, what was the driver of this, if I understand correctly, but I could have it completely wrong, but there was a rumor running around China very early yesterday morning that the government was going to come in and bail out all these defaulting development companies. It's turning into an absolute train wreck over there. And frankly speaking, the end story, the end game has to be some sort of government bailout. If it isn't, then it's just going to continue on. The fraud, and what pisses me off, of course, is $2.5 million for a house in Vancouver. Why? Because of the fraud of the Chinese real estate market. Chinese real estate now is supposed to be the most expensive asset in the entire world, worth something like $30 trillion. But it's all bullshit. It's all literally 100% fraud. So, what needs to happen, of course, is the government over there has to come in, just like you saw in 2008 in the States, and say, okay, you're not too big to fail, so you're going to go under. See you later, Lehman Brothers. Awfully nice knowing you. See you later, Bear Stearns. But you, maybe Evergrande, who knows, we will bail out, like AIG, right, and General Motors. But that's what's got to happen. That has to be the end game here. And usually, I remember this distinctly in the Asian contagion of the late 1990s. The Southeast Asian economies were all collapsing. And this was after the handover of Hong Kong back to the Chinese. It was all part of their plan. They bid the market up into that event, and then as soon as that event happened, they just pulled the carpet out and the whole fucking market collapsed. And then right at the bottom, they started to screw around with the public. They would say, oh yeah, there's a bailout coming, right? And then all of a sudden, oh no, there's no bailout. So, the speculators go long, and then they get slammed, and they get wiped out. And then the market's tanking lower, right? And then they come in and they just carte blanche buy everything right across the board. And I remember the little Chinese bureaucrat on Nightly Business Report coming out going, oh, well, we were punishing the speculators. So I have a feeling that's sort of what's going on here in this end game about this Chinese bubble. Is it should get uglier before it gets better. And if you listen to guys like George Gammon and stuff on YouTube and this sort of social media, YouTube channels and stuff, he's been sort of saying there's got to be some black swan event that nobody's expecting. And frankly speaking, I think it's basically China blows up. The only question ultimately here is, does the military junta, do they maintain control there? And I think they will. We were joking on the Daily Brief today. Not only should you, if you're going to go to one of those Chinese protests about the mortgages and stuff, not only should you wear a mask to protect you from COVID, but you probably should wear like eye cover, ear cover, hair cover, body cover, because man, they are taking notes of every single person that's in those protests, and my hunch is every single one of them will be sent to a concentration camp. It's going to be terrible. Last place in the world you want to be is in China right now, that's for sure. Anyway, so on that rumor of that bailout of the Chinese mortgage, the developing companies, on that rumor of it sort of, no, actually it's just a rumor and it's not going to happen, the whole damn rally just evaporated. Poof, gone. And, you know, on top of this, the most important thing about all this, right, is that you can see how dangerous this market state is right now. This is extremely dangerous. Country funds all overbought, just ready for an excuse to get whacked here. And now, like I said, now the whole U.S. stock market, the S&P 500, is getting overbought. All right, Paul said, Brian, you're talking way too much. I'm going to go for a smoke now. I'll see you in about 5-10 minutes. So let me know when you get back, okay? And then we'll head on over to you. All right, so gives you a pretty good idea what I'm thinking about for Bitcoin here. Yes, I think we're working lower, but the irony of it all, like I said, is I'm still actually long. And ironically enough, I just got an inside bar reversal. So let's see what happens. You might find that this silly Bitcoin price rallies right back up. You know, wicks and tails like to be eaten. That's an awfully big wick up there. I wouldn't really call this that great of a buy signal. So there's no even signal from RSI saying that the bears should cool their jets. But nonetheless, cute little inside bar. I think what probably has to happen here, like I said, is the head and shoulders top, which paints that downside objective. That's this kind of stuff. I think we got to move down to this 38.2 here. So there's your Bitcoin chart. As for Ethereum, Ethereum's an interesting one. You know, here's another good example. I mean, do I really want to get uber bearish about a chart that looks like that? I don't know. I mean, I could very easily see this market just sort of swim along the bottom here for the next, say, 6-8, you know, probably the next 6-8 months kind of idea. I could see that. But I don't know whether I really want to get too uber bearish. I mean, look at what happened in 2019, right? I mean, that's where the bottom is. In fact, that's probably exactly what I would expect to happen here. It's going to be this choppy, pain in the ass, but price isn't really going to go anywhere. So do I really want to get too bearish right here? I don't know. It's just another good example of an altcoin that I think that they're just, you know, they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. Okay, same thing with, you know, Doge. I said the same thing there. So, you know, we'll talk about this more later. Let's head on over and give you your sort of Ethereum summary. Now, the interesting thing with Ethereum is we got this merge coming up. Now, you know, unfortunately with these merge kind of conversations, I'm trying to find, where is the Ethereum chart? How far back did I go? Because I kind of screwed this chart up. I shouldn't have been doing it on this one. Oh, goodness. How far do I have to go? Give me a second here, everybody. Where are you, ETH? There you are. All right. Alright. So one thing that jumped out at me, of course, is you can probably see, oh god, there's another one of those head and shoulders patterns. Also too, noticed there's a pretty big gap on this Bitstamp 81-minute chart. That's like a Tesla 1.5 hour chart. Probably also too, we could draw trend lines. Notice just connect the dots. Nice little stab down into here. It would make perfect sense to me. 38.2 off of the whole range. I mean, keep in mind, this is where we bottomed out there. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think we even hit like a really nice fog and bomb level there. Let's see, did we? I guess that was in that area. So interesting, actually. The head and shoulders top probably takes us right back down into the foggy, so we actually test the foggy from the other side. I suppose like look left kind of thinking. We did rally up and then boom into these highs. Now we're starting to run into traffic. So that's basically what that is. I think I did this for you guys before. You can, I mean, this isn't really the best example, but what the hell, we'll give it a whirl here. Something like that. And we'll flip that around. This is market symmetry. And in this particular case, we're just going to stretch this out a little bit, just so we can kind of see the ebb and flow of the market. If we put that there and stretch it out, you can kind of see how, big up, then pull back, then up, right? So that's kind of what all of this is. Then sideways, then up, then more back and forth here. Head fake down. Oh, we're going to break down. We're going to break. And then ratchet up higher. That's actually what I'm kind of thinking is going to happen here. So with that kind of backdrop, that kind of image, I wouldn't be surprised if we have to pull back down into here. Might even, like on the Bitcoin chart, we're going to make an even bigger fractal. You could very easily see something along these lines. Like that. And then we will take that and flip that around. And you get something like that. That wouldn't surprise me. So we can come up with sort of price objectives just off of this little head and shoulders. And then that will probably set up things like neckline probes. So there is the top of the head to the neckline. And then we'll clone that. And we'll go down here. That's right in there. And that just basically fills in that gap. And so if we overlay that, oh, yeah, that's right into there. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen here going forward, guys and girls. Probably we need to put in some sort of base here. And then, hopefully we break this fractal pattern over here. And then we start climbing the wall of worry again. And probably your indication that this thing actually is a buy. Well, you can see I've done this study a few times, eh? Probably this indication that this market is a buy is when we break that trend line in earnest. I don't know how long that's going to take. Ideally, what I'd like to see, you can kind of see it here. It almost looks to me like this is your playground. And then ideally what we'd like to see is the break of that and then a W on the other side and away we go. That would be ideal. So long and short of it here is, think look left. This is a little bit dangerous. We got this gap down here. Of course, all you gap fans know how often those gaps like to get filled in. So you have a pretty good idea of what's in cards here. I guess the question ultimately here in the short term is, notice, look left, we've slammed down into this kilo. Can the bulls actually come back, put in W's, and actually start ramping up? Probably the way that you would measure that is probably watch the buying pressure through sort of volume analysis. So 1, 2, only 2 lines. We ideally like to see these trend lines tagged 3 times. So like 1, 2, 3 kind of idea. This is a fast line. I wouldn't even be surprised if we actually have to come and play against it again. So 1, 2, 3. And like I said, can we get some sort of W on the other side of this trend line? That would be nice to see. So, unfortunately, that's not really the best image. So Bitcoin looking heavy, Ethereum looking heavy. Like things like dog money. It's not really like I think this is a new short, and this is a good place to go short. But is it looking heavy? Off of this daily chart, there's an inside bar, and so we actually get an outright sell signal if we happen to go through that low right there. And if we drill down to a lower time frame, we already have an M top working. So there are lots of guys that are probably short off of that M top failure there. And same sort of thing as like Ethereum and probably Bitcoin too. This thing won't be a quote unquote buy again until we W on the other side of this trend line. And who knows how long that takes. Maybe we have to come all the way down here, then swim, then break the trend line, then W, and then go. So it's going to be a bit of a slog. We are officially correcting, and even, gee whiz, look at that nasty, nasty divergence. If you wanted to, some guys like to pin up pictures of girls on their walls. I would be the type of guy, because I'm a weirdo, where I would actually like to print this off and put that on my wall. And when I'm hunting the market for trade ideas, wow, is that ever the most beautiful example of bearish divergence? Absolutely textbook. And even a really pretty failure in RSI there as well. Willie never did go stupid, though. That's kind of interesting, eh? So, I don't know whether this market's really overbought. I think it just went too far, and it needs time to clean itself up, right? Just like Bitcoin, just like Ethereum, probably the thing we should be looking for is what's a 38.2 retracement, right? And so that would just be the start of our correction process. And interesting too, notice, right? All my talk tonight about head and shoulders is notice this head and shoulders. Right? So I could see we come back to 38.2s, and that actually becomes some sort of pivot in there. So see a lot of this. In the short term, it's going to be a bit tough. The medium term, we probably need to come down into reload zones and stuff and clean this market up. The question really is has the seasonal trade exhausted itself? I don't think so, but maybe that's just a little bit of bias, personal bias. I mean, maybe it has. Okay, so there's sort of Brian's overview of the market. Gave you 2 or 3 different markets. Of course, we looked at Ethereum, Bitcoin, big ones. And then we looked sort of scattered at a few little ones. Caught my attention. Stocks, crypto stocks, this coin jumped up nicely. I could very easily see this coin actually now as a bear flag working, and we have to come right back down against the original lows. I also noticed too I've got a list of these crypto stocks. Some of the ETFs, let's see what they look like. That's the Bitcoin fund on a daily basis in Toronto. I don't know. I mean, again, do you really want to get too bearish down there? I mean, I could very easily see it swim around down here for, next 4 or 6 months, but I don't know whether that's really a good place to become uber bearish. Stocks like Marathon, same sort of thing. V bottom, probably 38.2, 50% bounces off the bottom. But is that a place where you really want to short? I don't know. That's a tough one. That's the backdrop of your market. Probably also, too, good stock to keep an eye on in crypto land is MicroStrategies. And actually, we were kind of having fun watching how this would play out. Here's a really good example where if you have 2-to-1 risk reward, can you see how you only in this particular case, this trader's right 50% of the time. That's like basically a coin toss. And yet, you tell me, if the bet sizes were the same, and he had one bet that lost and one bet that won, they're both 2-to-1s, is this trader profitable? And I got to tell you, This is the key to trading. This is the key. If you want to run a business of trading and you want to make money from trading, this is what you have to learn. This guy here, he's like coin toss sort of prediction ability. Big fucking deal. Coin toss. And yet, he's profitable. So, I guess the way I would look at this kind of image here, though, is this trade maybe getting a little long in the tooth up top here? Is it a good idea to take some profits? You saw that I took profits on that Bitcoin buy there, partial profits. Would have liked to squeeze some more profit out of it. But I have my stop at scratch on the remaining. But I think it's always good to pay yourself at least a little bit here. I mean, look at that chart. I mean, you can see we rallied up top, right back into resistance. Could we roll over and have to fill in a lot of this now here over the next couple months? It wouldn't surprise me, folks. Really wouldn't. Okay, I think I'm going to leave my barking at that for now. Paul is still here, I think. I might have put him back to sleep. Paul, are you here, sir?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, there he is. It's awfully quiet tonight. Let's see how that's coming across on the YouTube feed. So, I'd love for you to walk us through your free newsletter that you give out to your audience. I think it's great value. I think people really love it. So, if you're ready to screen share, the ball's in your court, sir.
Yeah, 1 second.
Excuse me. All right, there we go. So you can see Paul's screen. I'll try and hit this F11 or F10, I think it is. I always screw this up, so let's see if I hit this button correctly. Survey says. Boom. Nope, I always do it wrong. Let's do that one. There we go. You could maybe hit a F. I guess what is that? That's F. Oh God, old man-itis. I can't see it. Looks like a F11 is what it is. That'll get rid of the heading and stuff on your page as well if you want a bit bigger screen, but it's up to you. All right, I will put myself on mute. Can you guys over on YouTube, if you like this rant, if you like this broadcast, can you hit the like button, subscribe, ring our bell? All those kind of things. You all know how the Google rant, sort of pitch goes. I'd appreciate it, and let's all give Paul our undivided attention, and tell us what you're seeing in the market here today, sir. Go for it.
On my weekly newsletter, it's just my 2 cents every week. But last week I had some personal problems. I didn't post too many trades in the group, so the results they are not too great. I was slightly profitable, but not. I don't know, just a small profit for the last week. On weekly chart, yeah, we have some at the moment I made the newsletter. We had a bullish divergence ready to confirm on MACD. On the RSI, we are at the trend line of the RSI. Really was stupid, but OBV is lagging. OBV was in a divergence. I didn't like that. On daily chart, we are up then, but I had this divergence in MACD. RSI was at the uptrend line, but still keep in mind the OBV was lagging. If you see, price was up, but the OBV was down. I didn't like the look of the market on daily chart. Yeah, on 4-hour chart, I saw some divergence. I was thinking short at this moment in time on 4-hour chart. We have bearish divergence, double bearish divergence in RSI. Yeah, OBV was holding the trend line, but I didn't like how the market looked at on 4-hour chart. Dominance of BTC on 4 days. You saw I draw this AB equals CD couple of weeks ago. It's looking like we'll hit the bottom of the range, but keep in mind we have this W, and if you look left, so this will offer some support at this level, at 40 level. On Ethereum versus Bitcoin on weekly chart, we had a couple of weeks ago, we had this trend line broken close above the trend line, which was good. But keep in mind now, if I zoom a little bit, you'll see we hit the house level, so maybe was too fast, too far, and we have to cool down. It's the top of the range. We hit the house level, so maybe we have to cool down 1 week or two, something like that. On total two, Bitcoin, crypto without Bitcoin, we are just bouncing from 500 level and straight up, but we have to keep in mind nothing goes straight up and straight down. Maybe you have to cool a bit off. Usually, I put in my newsletter. I put the news for the week. So that was for this week. On OFMC, I don't know how to spell it to say it in English. Uh, I was hoping the market to go down in the FOMC and then to go up afterwards. On altcoin space, at the moment I made the newsletter. Mana was still at the entry point on this idea. 1 inch, the same idea. RSR was at the same level. In meantime, we had a bounce. Now it's back to the entry level. Jasmine, the same thing. Sushi swap. One sushi, I don't like to buy at this level. I will wait for a 61.8. If I have my order in the market. If I'll get filled, okay. If not, I will reevaluate after that. But I don't like to buy up markets to buy at this level. For me, it means I'm chasing the market, so I don't like that. So I'm waiting for a 61.8. Maybe I'm a bit cheap ass with this one, but I like that level for a long trading condition. Hard to medium. I don't know. I guess now we are back to hard mode. A bit hard for people to frame setups and trades. Let's just take a look now at the Bitcoin dominance, and let's see now how the market looks. Let's go on this one, and let's put Bitcoin. 1 second. Close some of this one, and let's go on 1 day at least. Yeah, we had this bearish divergence. We are up. We are up to this point, but keep in mind bearish divergence really is overbought. I don't like that. I'm on Ethereum now. Seems like I was trying to see Bitcoin first. Sorry. So it's the same thing. Divergence in MACD, confirm at this point. Some divergence in RSI. On this one, on Bitcoin, we are not, Willie is not stupid yet. Wasn't stupid all this period. So maybe have a chance to go a bit higher. But for now, I don't know. Let's just wait at 38.2 at this level. For me, it's still market is still up. We didn't broke this level, so higher highs and higher lows. It's a up market for me, at least for now. Maybe you have to cool off a little bit to play out this divergence. but I'm still expecting a nice bounce. I'm For me this level 27, 28, maybe it's is the level I will short the market. But now, now I just put a hedge. I put a short trade on Ethereum to hedge my spot position on altcoins. I didn't close any position on spot, but I put a short on Ethereum to hedge my long trades on altcoins. Bitcoin dominance, yeah. Let's see 1 week, and let's go on this one. We are at the same point like Sunday when I made the newsletter. Let's just wait a little bit to see how the market will behave. But straight straight down from the middle of the channel to the bottom of the channel, I don't think so. Maybe we'll have to range a little bit in this area. And if we have power in altcoins, we could go to the lower part of the this range. Total two, it's a simple one, straight up. Now we have to cool off. We have some resistance in this area. 1 week, 2, 3, 4, 1 month of a range in this area. So it clearly will stop us on this 700 billion. Ethereum versus Bitcoin. I don't know whether I see that on 1 week chart. I guess yeah, yeah. Straight up from the bottom of the channel, straight through we uh, stopped a little bit at this trend line, up to the house level. For me, this is too far, too fast. From bottom of the channel to the top of the channel. Maybe you have to cool off a little bit. Let's go 1 day chart. I guess I have something different. Yeah, so we hit the house level exactly and then down. I'm waiting for this level 0.75. We have some support in this area. We can go down and bounce from this point. Now, now we are at the top of the channel. I don't have anything to do on this chart. I have to wait to see a clear direction. Let's see the indicators. We have bearish divergence, so I guess it's already confirmed. Yeah, if you almost bearish divergence on RSI, same thing. Willie is already stupid from a long time, from 1 month ago approximately. So we just need to cool off a little bit, range, and maybe go up even more in the at the end of the month. I don't know, but for now we just need a break to consolidate this move. I I don't like to sell my spot bags on altcoins. Why? Because I'm still thinking we could go a little up, but as I said, on 4 hour chart on Ethereum, I don't know, this chart maybe, or on this one. Let me see 1 second. No, not this one. I guess this one I have head and shoulders or no. On 4 hour chart, if we go here, we had some bearish divergence. I posted in the group. I just put a like a hedge. I put a short position on Ethereum at this level to protect my gains on altcoins. I still have that position. The stop is at the entry point. I don't want to make, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to make a profit with this trade, especially. I just want to protect my spot bags. If market goes down, this trade will be in profit and protect my altcoin bags on the spot market because I don't like to sell too often the spot position. So I had a AB equals CD on 4-hour chart. It's already at the target. I'm I'm waiting on 4-hour chart. I'm waiting for a 61.8. I didn't get filled yet, but maybe I'll get a chance to get along. Let's go on 1 hour. 1 hour it's a bit too small time frame. Yeah, that I was looking. This is we have a LJ and now we're making a W, but it's a nice W. From this point to this point, we see some bullish divergence on MACD histogram. We have some bullish divergence on RSI. OBV, no, but we have something to work on. If I get another W in this area, yeah, damn nice. Why not? Willie was a bit oversold. I like that. I have the order at this level, 1,801. But seems like for now I'll not get my 61.8. Usually, from my experience, Ethereum does that. Will front run the 61.8. I don't know, bots, algorithmic trading. I don't know what is in Ethereum, but usually you'll not get your 61.8 level hit. Someone will front run you. The order will be a bit above. On the other side, on this one, I had the same idea like Brian said. Head and shoulders. I don't know if it's still valid. Technically, no, because this shoulder has to be higher than this one, and we broke this level. So technically, it's not a valid head and shoulders. Practically, head and shoulders look how they look, not exactly like in textbooks. So yeah, now we're just retesting the neckline, maybe, but retesting the neckline and making a W. So it's looking a bit nice. For a 4-hour perspective, my idea is this level will have to hold if we want to go back to bull. I don't like if I see the price goes down. Yeah, I'll go down to 78.6 exactly in the reload zone from this move up. But who knows? Now we're just testing the neckline. If we are bearish, we can. Someone wants to frame a short. But if I look at 1 hour chart, I see a W. I don't want to put a short in the front of a W. I had on this chart. I had last night. Last night for me, I had exactly at the I guess 15 minutes maybe. Yeah, I had a quick scalp just before the FOMC minutes. I even posted on my Discord group. I don't recommend to do that for anyone, at least for beginners. But I was seeing, I don't know, I guess 5 minutes, something like that. Let me see. Yeah, exactly 5 minutes. I just saw this trend line. I saw the W. I just put 0.5% and stop at this week. I closed 50% of the trade at 2 to 1, move my stop to scratch, immediately hit 2 to 1, hit my stop at the entry level, and I just go to sleep. I didn't do anything more. And from that point, we just ranging in this area. But nice to see a nice W. On 5 minute chart is not too clear, but on 1 hour seems like nice W on Ethereum. On 1 hour chart seems like this W is confirmed already.
Line chart, that W is going to actually be confirmed there.
Yeah. Because online, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And actually, that's a cool image because whenever you see an M inside a W, it means that there was an internal war there, and the
Mhm.
Bears tried to dominate, and the Bulls just smacked them.
Yep.
So that's like you could actually draw a little harmonic off of that pattern down there. I think that actually might even be a Gartley. I
Yeah,
always
this one to this one to this and this
yeah,
low.
yeah.
Yeah, 88.6 or something like that on line chart. This
We
level
gotta
on
we gotta
this.
get Paul to take our harmonics modules.
I know I know something, but if I'm not
Hey, you're
precise,
making tons of
I don't.
money without it, so it's no big deal.
Yeah,
But
I try to keep it
I'd
simple. I
love
don't
for you
like.
to be able to add. Yeah, we got to get you in with Steven. You would have a great old time with Steven. And Igor. God, those guys are killer. Hafed. Oh, those guys are so much fun.
Yeah, so on 50-minute chart, I don't know. Yeah, it's confirmed from at least for an 1 hour time frame on line chart. You see the
Yeah, look at
W.
that. Look what just as we're sitting here, watch the price melting up here.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Looks
I don't
nice.
know. It looks to me like the Bears have run out of steam. Ooh, look at
Yeah,
that
and
cute little div. Can you see
we
that
have
cute
that
little div?
yeah on this one.
Yeah, just on this most recent bottom that just came in here. Yeah, right
This
there.
one.
Look at that
Yeah, that
cool
small
little
one.
div. I
Yeah,
love when I see that happen on the
and you see on other side the same thing.
yeah, like on the right
Even
hand side
on the
of the
OBV,
big
you see
W.
the divergence. Even OBV has a divergence. You don't see it too often on OBV.
Yeah, so this is something, audience, if you're watching and you're kind of wanting to learn, what do really good trades set up look like? When you get this wide W that forms, and then on the right side, they come down and they test Paul's original bottom there, and you
Yep.
look down at your indicators and you see on the test of the original bottom, bull divs and W's start forming. Like if I saw that and I was sitting in the pits, I would just be. And then I saw that massive green reversal candle, I'd be like, oh, Nelly, something big's going on here.
Yeah.
And it's actually interesting that this is happening this time of day because this is the Asian session.
Yeah.
So when
Usually I lose the movement because I'm sleeping, but
yeah, well, you're just waking up, eh? So, but the point here is that I wonder if there's rumors flying in China right now about government bailouts. So if somebody wants to go dig through the news wires and what the hell's going on around the world right now, my hunch is something's going on in Asia that's causing this thing to actually start pivoting back to the upside. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
Please continue, sir.
No, no, no. I like my LJs. I like my 61.8. I'm just trading with simple tools. I don't like to overcomplicate the things. I like the simplest way to look at the market. On the Discord group, I have, let me see if I have this one. It's not complete yet, but it's up and running. I have an investment plan, something like that on altcoins. So in the investment part, I have a screener with a lot of things and that, and I'm just selecting altcoins with a lot of potential of growing up, with a lot of shorts, something in these lines. It's a lot of things I'm looking at the technically speaking, not fundamentally. And I'm just looking at the altcoins on weekly chart. We have the chart on a weekly basis, updated every time I do something, and it's a view only chart. If I take this one, you will open a chart. 1 second, and you see divergence on weekly chart. People they could zoom in and see the levels. If I zoom out even more, on this one, I was a bit chasing. I don't know. I didn't want to be a cheap ass. Keep in mind, I'm looking at the weekly chart. I just bought this big W, 1% from the account. But in the rest, we still have this one was the only one who I was filled because I put the limit order a bit up. But in the rest, every one of that has a limit order where I want to buy the altcoin. 1% because in my plan I said I'll buy 2% maximum per coin. So I'll buy now 1%. If I get a double, it's okay. If I don't, it's not a problem. I'll wait a bit lower, and I have another 1% to buy it lower. Then I'll put the two limit orders together, and I'll calculate the sell half on a double. Someone help me, made this spreadsheet, and we have the short level, the second short, the third short, the date, the same idea again. If I buy a second time, we'll have the short. If I go on statistic, I have exactly. Now shows me, I'll modify that. It shows me the exactly the statistic on the coins. How many coins I have, how much I'm invested, how much dry powder I still have on the books to buy if I see a nice opportunity. And this list will be updated up to 100 coins. Now we have 48. But in time, keep in mind I'm trying to make an investment plan of 2 to 4 5 years time horizon. I have time to add when I see a new project. I'm waiting to be listed. I want to see a reload zone. I want maybe to look at fundamental things, and maybe I'll add it to this list. I have time to make money. Idea from this plan is to use little old lady risk management strategy and the first part of the plan until the bull market starts. When I'll see big W's on weekly chart, and I'll see the bull market is starting, I will switch from little old lady risk management strategy to another system. I'm thinking it's okay. I'll put the house level at the weekly W, and I'll just sell maybe 10 to 20% at each level. So at 4669, I'll sell maybe 10 or 20%. At the 877, the same thing. At 1688, the same thing. And the rest of the altcoins, I'll close everything when I'll get a P cycle top signal. I'll terminate this plan at the market price, at the limit. I don't know exactly, but I'll close everything when I'll see a P cycle top signal. That's my idea. And I'm not a financial advisor, but who wants to to invest? The chart is on the group. This is my plan. I want to play the altcoin space this way. For me, it's a low risk and high reward because it's low risk. Why? Because I only invested $2,000. I'll invest $2,000 in this one. So my risk is $2,000, not a cent more. But the reward could be damn nice if I manage to accumulate with little old lady accumulate free coins. And if history repeat itself one last time, yeah, I guess I could make some money with this plan. Just to keep me, I don't stick only with day trading. So this is my
YouTubers want you to refresh the page.
why.
I don't know what
Oh,
that
why
means,
one
Moro, but
special YouTuber? I don't
let's see
know.
what he says. Can you refresh
Uh,
it? There you go. Look at that. You got some prices now. Woo!
yeah, we have some fields. Let's see what YouTuber because
I think we should hire
that
Paul to
YouTuber
do
is
this for
the
the
man who made
TRI
the
site.
that YouTuber is the man who made the spreadsheet. That's why I said refresh the page.
Yeah. Oh,
Mauro,
that's
I want to see something in this page.
Moros who help you build this.
Yeah, he's the numbers guy is damn good at doing this.
Yeah, very. God, I wish I had somebody like this for TRI. Sure would make my life a lot easier.
So he's made this list damn nice. Yeah, looks nice.
Ready?
On my I made a let's say a challenge on the group, 1K to 10K. I didn't
Hey,
give
that
it too
looks
much.
familiar.
Yeah.
This
I
is
didn't.
actually a spreadsheet design that one of our TRIers put together.
Yeah.
Very
Josh made
impressive
it, and I
spreadsheet.
just updated and put it to represent me, to give me my edge. I put the statistics, everything I want from a trading journal.
Yeah.
I didn't give it too much attention. I said I will. I even have the plan, and this, if I click here, I have the the plan. I didn't give it too much attention. Last week I had some problems and I didn't trade too much, but I have 13 trades in, let's say, 2 weeks, something like that. Win ratio, it's damn low, 50%. I have 6 wins, 6 losses, and 1 scratch. But what I'm interested in is this one, this part. If I see this one on green, I have a mistake made, and I noted it in this. It's a mistake. Why? It's a mistake because in the plan I didn't put shark setup. So if I traded with this account on this challenge, I traded the shark. It's a mistake because I didn't have the in the plan. I didn't have the shark setup.
I
Doesn't matter
love the
if I.
fact that you're just basically walking through our entire education program here with these people. That's good to see. This is everything that we teach in our education program, people. Just FYI.
Yeah, if let's just open this plan. Is not something secret for now. Just open this one. So I didn't complete this one because it's public on the group. Why I'm interested? Tactical plan, what I want to do, risk parameters, 1 to 2% from $1,000. I'll calculate based on portfolio, commissions, risk, time reference, 3 to 60 minutes chart on this plan, setups, LJ, mountain man, 3 steps, bot, and I use the Holy Grail indicator with a special setup. Limit orders, important notes, never exceed the 2% per transaction. And don't put, this is was a problem for me in the past. So I put it in here. Don't put a trade without a stop loss. Never. Simple as that. And I have the trade setup described here with the image. Exactly 3 step setup, bot setup. In addition to the plan, I have qualities of a successful trader, good trading plan, thinking probabilities, patient, respect risk management 100% of the time, write down everyday emotion, thoughts, and trading log, best results when you follow your plan, 5 fundamental truths in trading. I like to periodically to look at my plan when I am trading. Anything can happen in the market. Every moment is unique. This is from Mark Douglas book or DVD. Edge is nothing more than an indication of a greater probability something will happen over the another one. Random distribution between wins and losses. So I don't know when I'll get a loss or a win. I don't have to know that. Beliefs of a consistently profitable trader. I have the from Mark Douglas. I like these ones because I like to review them because it gives me keeps me sharp and keep the things simple. So a simple plan, I don't know, simple plan,
That looks
a
pretty
simple
good.
trade,
Why
a
don't we
simple,
head off and take a look at some ideas here? And
yeah,
we got, I guess, about 40 minutes left. So maybe we can bang through a few of these ideas that we have on the spreadsheet, and let's see
yeah.
if we
I'll close
can take a
my,
look at some names.
yeah, I'll close my presentation.
Looks fantastic. Well, if you want to, why don't we? I don't know. We can always leave the floor open to the audience. What do we got? About 20, 30 people there.
Let's see.
If you want, I mean, what I like is you have a nice clean chart. So if you want to, by all means, well, what the hell? I guess I can pop over. We can do charts over here. But fantastic stuff. And whoops, what the hell have I done now? These silly computers, they drive me crazy. All right, so I got to get out of the F11 there. Cool. And what are we going to do here? Let's do some charts. Okay, it looks like we got that up and running. Okay, so
Yep.
beautiful presentation, fantastic work. We got about, like I said, about 40 minutes left to hear. The only issue that I have is gotta make sure that you can see what the hell it is I'm talking
Yeah, I
about.
see the image. Yeah,
Oh,
I
can
see
you?
it on
Okay,
on
good.
YouTube. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so where are we here? Last one that we left off here was, and I don't know whether we're still updating this. I mean, obviously, Luna here, a little bit
Yeah.
outdated. Obviously, not in good trade location. But why don't we? I am open to people throwing some names that it's interesting. Like looking at a couple of your ideas, I wouldn't mind getting the backstory. Do you follow the fundamental developments? Like, what was the one that was at the top of your list there?
Mana. First of all.
Oh, you like
First one.
Mana?
Yeah, why not?
I remember I saw it said pond or something like that.
Oh, on the investment plan, yeah, pond.
Yeah. Ugh. I mean,
I
this
was
is a
thinking
problem
about
is that you look at all these darn charts, right, and they all look heavier than stink. So, yeah, tough market. Interesting,
from the
man.
invest
I'm getting a little bit
for the
oversold
investment
here.
plan. It's the pond.
Yeah, pond. Yeah, and actually, I wouldn't mind because, there's a good example, right? You look at that Decentraland, and I mean, do you really want to get too uber bearish right there? Is momentum rolling over, and it looks like we probably got to go through some cleanup here? I think so, but do you really expect this thing to fall? Like, I don't know.
No, I'm looking at that damn OBV, and
Yeah.
I like that.
Fascinating. Probably what that means is we probably want to keep an eye on that low there because that's when they really started to buy in earnest, eh?
Yeah, it's a damn nice level to
Yeah.
hunt.
Maybe if we're lucky, yeah. That's interesting. I mean, the momentum just looks awful here. I know, like, guys like Julian are just like, oh my god, this crypto market looks dangerous. That's fascinating. So, I guess what I love to hear is the new ideas. Like, I think you showed us that there was a weekly
Pond,
W
yeah.
on that pond, eh? But there it is, pond. You like
Yeah,
the
weekly.
fundamental story here? Look at that OBV. Now that
Yeah, that is a criteria for my selection.
the
On weekly
OBV,
chart.
I like to see the OBV trading
Yeah, I
higher.
like to see the OBV up when the price goes down.
Yeah, I mean, look at this volume pouring in here. Huge volume. So somebody's
Yep.
stepping up and doing some serious buying here. Fascinating. What's the story here? Do you know?
No, I don't look at fundamentals. I'll take any altcoin that I see looking better, nice on the technical part.
Okay. I do like your fun little plan. Like I said, man, I'd love to get that up and running on the site. I wonder if there's any way we can hook you up and your guy. What was the person's name? Moro?
Yeah.
Geez, it would be nice for you to hook up with Sjord. See if we could somehow do, because well, I like the idea of almost even hitting the reset button and just starting from scratch, because God, I think I bought like 200 or 300 different of these altcoins. Just my advice to you, Paul, is just be careful, because it can get out of control, and you have like hundreds and hundreds of these damn altcoins, and you don't know if you're coming or
I'll
going.
put a condition in my plan to have 30% in cash.
Wow.
If I want to add another altcoins to buy it, I'll have to get a double on the ones I bought already to add another altcoin. So I'll keep it simple for me. I'll keep 30% in cash all the time.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
With small exception, if I get a crash like 2020 with COVID crash, then I'll limit 10% in cash. I'll buy at the market price or something like that. But I have to see something really ugly to convince me to buy. Until then, I'll keep it in balance.
I think what I'll do here is let's add, and we'll call this what's the name of this show? TRI Top 100 Crypto or something like that. Crypto. And actually, maybe why don't we put the date in here too? Oops. 22. And we'll add this bad boy into there. So that looks really interesting. And and there we go. All right. So we don't know the fundamentals, but you really like the look of that technicals, and
yeah.
And it'd be interesting. Who wants to? Yeah. So Great Delmudi. I mean, that was the. I mean, keep in mind, you have to have a certain temperament to trade these cryptocurrencies, and you are definitely at the mercy of Mr. CZ. And I played that game with the whole Bitrex, and frankly speaking, it was a bit irritating after a while. So I completely agree with you. I don't know whether you can buy these kind of things through DeFi and sort of control your own fate.
I'm thinking you can do it, and if you have a lot of free coins, you can put it on the ledger or on a hard wallet.
You could take these pawned coins. This is
they have to have
a ledger.
They have to have a cold wallet or a different wallet than Binance. And I don't think it is just only on Binance. Maybe some of them, yeah, I have that risk. It's only on Binance, and if they delist it, it's a problem. But keep in mind, I manage my risk. It's only 2% per coin, so not a big deal if some of them, they'll be delisted. Yeah, will suck, but...
I don't have a worry for you. What I'm more worried about is the people that are just watching this as sort of casual spectators. And they come in blindly and they buy this stuff and they just don't realize what they're getting into.
No, it's an investment plan.
I would just be very. I mean, you're over in Romania, but anybody who's sort of here in North America and in the U.S., just be very careful in the crypto space about quote unquote recommending. It feels as though Big Brother is coming down a bit hard on this space right now. You're over in Romania, so probably you don't have to worry too much about that. But anybody here in North America, be careful.
Someone says the pond is on Coinbase also, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna add this just because I like your chart, and I'm not quite sure how we'll manage this. Whoops! Oh darn it. You know, Ben is so good at managing all this stuff. Way better than I am. Let's see if I can try this. Okay, copy link to chart. I like that. You know, what I like is, as you said, you know, something like a nanny nibble, just going in and buying a little bit off the bottom end of the range, and just, you know, if it does double in price, let them go. Get yourself a free position. Love that kind of thinking. So we'll say names from 08. What's the date today? I think it's like the 17th or 18th.
Yeah, 18 for me.
Yeah. So we'll just leave that there. Maybe Ben can help us when he gets sort of settled in. All right. So cheap. Is it trending higher right now? I don't think so. But at the same time,
No,
too, the good part about a name like this is coming into the end of the year, there's probably going to be a bunch of tax loss selling. So you're probably going to be able to just slowly accumulate with. Little old lady, I told somebody on YouTube who was asking little old lady, what is it? I don't really want to go into like defining everything that we do at TRI and, giving away all our secret sauce here. Come and hang out on the site, join 30-day trial. Consider joining our education program if you really want to learn how to trade. It'd be interesting to do like a fundamental sort of input on this. I don't know what the fundamental story is. If anybody on TRI wants to do some digging, that'd be kind of cool. But it would probably behoove you to know at least what the heck the story is behind this. But I like how you're thinking, and clearly you can see in the short term, along with the rest of the crypto market, and what I'm worried about for the whole sort of risk market is things are looking a little bit tough here. So. All right, so somebody also asked a few names, and this is what I was kind of hoping, so thank you guys. Somebody asked us to look at Gala. Not quite sure if you're familiar with that. Gala. There's Gala. Gala versus USDT. Oh, that's a good.
Yeah, I have it on Binance. And
woo, look at that OBV. That's an OBV that probably gets Paul's attention.
yeah, looks nice. And I am thinking, no, I don't know. I guess it's on my list too.
You can see it looks like we did a whole bunch of looking into this previously. So, unfortunately, I do see this in crypto is that you'll have sort of like the market back up into reload zones, put in bases, and a huge fight. And then, if something just doesn't pan out, there's like a puke out to new lows. Like, there was a coin back in May that did almost exactly the same thing. This looks a little bit busy here, so let me see if I can get rid of some of this stuff. I think it was that Vader. And then it just sort of puked out. So, and this is a good way. Well, not a good way, but one way I like to sort of gauge how the crypto kids are feeling is celebrities in the space. I heard that Danny was starting to make his presence known again, so that should probably be I guess a positive that these kind of names are now starting to trough. We're right up against those previous, I guess, and it'd be interesting, was that an ICO or was this just like a new listing on Binance and it came from a lot lower levels? But you can see they got the market right against those previous lows. I might argue that maybe, that's a tough one. If anything, this is such a good example. Paul was making reference to the LJ setup. Really, all it is just can I get a break of a trend line, and then can I get some market structure on the other side of a trend line? So really interesting to see here how it broke this trend line and then kind of like sort of crawled its way up. Really what I'd love to see, kind of like this, is I want to see like a nice W. So fascinating how the W came in there. I suppose you could argue that maybe that was a cute little W right there, but geez, the rally didn't last too long, did it? So, pretty nasty little and I guess that, this is a pretty good hallmark of how the altcoin market usually goes through this sort of kind of, would you call it the crypto winter? I don't know whether that's right or not. Anyway, here's a letter of the alphabet we kind of like to see. And actually, this is kind of cool too, because you can see, beautiful, there's that OBV. Really good anecdote of that volume impetus concept. As long as you keep seeing higher highs in the volume bars, the green volume bars, that's a good sign. You can see there is the W. So down, up, down, breakout. That's a good sign. The only issue here, though, is, and this is kind of like the whole crypto market, is we were all kind of anticipating that sort of late summer, midsummer maybe, but mid to late summer push higher. So we got that. Was that the extent of the rally? You notice, we often talk about, some people got all jazz bullish off of this cute little W right here. And the market melted down and broke their hearts. And notice we just rallied back into there and then stalled. So there is a W there, but gee whiz, this is awfully difficult. Is that even? Look, doesn't. Let's see what number that is. 47.20, 47.45. Well, that's good. So it is a higher low. Gala. Do you know anything about this? Is this on one of your watch lists, Paul?
No, it's not on my list.
Be interesting to see what they do. We almost went stupidly overbought. A reading above minus 20 there is stupidly overbought, so we got minus 20.26. Very close. And really good analysis. Remember we were talking earlier about W's in RSI and stuff against bottoms in the market. Nasty little M there. In fact, we used to work with a guy, Da Vinci, and he really liked when he saw like M's and W's in OBV, RSI, Williams percentage R, all sort of simultaneously. So that's a pretty bearish signal. So I think probably whatever the rally is, it's probably done for now. And ironically enough, I think the theme of tonight is the inverted head and shoulders. So hopefully you can see that probably we're going to do something like my hunch is something like that. Then come down, test that low. If we go through this low in particular, then the head and shoulders is off the table. But if we can come down into here and then turn back up, then hey, you might actually have something. So investment grade, little old lady, I don't really have a problem with you stepping in on that. Trading wise, I think probably the trade is going to be down somewhere in this area down here. Probably, if we do like reload zones. Yeah, so you can see 61.8 to 78.6 is right down in that window. That's where I'd want you to probably concentrate. So if you're interested, keep your eyes peeled on that level. And if you could get like, just a nice little W that comes in there, that would be sweet. Something like that. So keep your eyes peeled for something along those lines. And if you can have, of course, all the indicators also Wing out at the same time, obviously that's going to make things a lot better. The fact that we have that M, yuck, that M, yuck. Even this, there's a bear div there. That's all screaming, you better cool your jets. So. All right. I think we'll let's throw this into the spreadsheets. That was Gala. And Ben, once you land on the ground, maybe you can take a look at this. Oh darn, I keep doing that. You can take a look at this spreadsheet and help me clean it up. Maybe we can get Paul's buddy to come in here and clean this spreadsheet up a little bit. Who knows? We probably had to pay that guy a fortune to do that. So, how are we going to do this? Copy. Here we go. Boom. 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 Okay. All right. I think I'll leave the Gala talk at that. Next up on the hit list, let's see what we got here. Yeah, they don't call it the fall for nothing, eh? Gala, so we looked at that for you. Tiki Tactics.
Brian.
Yeah.
The guy who made the spreadsheet for the group is from TRI.
Yeah, well, good.
He's level 2 already. He's taking exam to level 2.
Couple of the computer programmers in level 3 are working with Zach and building out a killer spread options module. Your guy Years in level 2. I mean, I would love for us all to try and work together at TRI, but I do understand that you're all splintered and heading off your own directions. But I would like to try and keep this sort of like TRI themed. I'm a little
Yeah,
disappointed in
I
how
don't know.
things are
I mean,
splintering off. So anyway.
he's the numbers guy for the group. Damn
Oh,
good at the spreadsheet
hey, there
and
you
he's
go, Ben. Hey,
a
there's
good kid.
Ben. Ben, hey Ben, are you in the middle of the air, Ben? Mind you, you got the whole family there, so I bet the little ones probably aren't very happy in the middle of the air. But all right, cool, Ben. So I'll fire these things in here, and then you take a look, and if you can add your 2 cents, that'd be great, Ben. Appreciate it. And by all means, Mister, your buddy is Mr. Morrow.
Yeah.
Mr. Morrow, if you want to throw your 2 cents in here, how we can make this spreadsheet better and more efficient and all that kind of stuff, I'd love the input. 1 plus 1 equals 3. All that kind of talk. Okay, somebody asked us to look at sand. So what do you think? Yeah, do you have any idea about sand? You ever heard of this thing?
Yeah, he's down, but looking for long term, looking nice. I have it on my on other list, but yeah, I'm looking at that one.
All right. Yeah, it's
It's
absolutely, this is such a
something
good,
like mana, something like on these lines.
yeah. So it's such a good analogy that at the very least, what you have to train yourself. I mean, if you really want to make money from trading, most of the public, of course, they're not very good at this stuff. But you just have to force yourself not to come in up here. You just somehow you got to learn how to not do that. And unfortunately, of course, that's usually where the public is most interested in this. So what a great analogy. The next time we go into one of these nutso stupid insano face rib bull markets, right? Just please, great Del Moody. I think you're going to be around here. And of course, all the other regulars, Ben and, Paul here. I mean, just try to convey, if anything, you should probably take a copy of this image. And even, could this be the Bitcoin market that went to 20 G's and then right back down to 3,000? Absolutely. I mean, it's the same thing over and over and over. Just don't chase. Don't chase. So, I mean, at the very least, we're breaking down trend lines. That's good to see. Don't know whether I'd actually, and it's interesting here, like you notice that this thing is having a very difficult time actually Wing. All right, like breaks the trend line, then M's. There's a little, oh no, made a new low there. Boom, new low, new low. You're going to give me a W, you're going to give me a W, you're going to get new low. You're going to give me a W, new low. So here we go again. Are you going to give me a W? And really, I don't really like it when it looks like this. I don't like those W's. So you're going to come to me and say, well, Brian, there's my W. I don't like it with the low that far away. So, grade 3 English teachers, right? Ideally, my W's, I want them to look very pristine, right? And then the M's, the same sort of thing. Very well defined. So, unfortunately, when I look at this, what I see is up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Ugh, kind of failing here. It's not really, this is just like Doge. There's so many of these kind of names. I mean, do you really want to short that there? And I mean, let's say you were told, I'm part of the developer team or whatever. I know the story, whatever. Maybe I'm coming in, I'm natty nibbling against the bottom end of ranges here, and now you want to panic and dump everything? It doesn't make any sense, because at some point down the road this damn thing's going to be back up here. So I just don't like the idea of getting like uberly bearish right here. Does that mean that this thing's actually going to go up here? Probably not. I mean, the sad thing is I'm probably just going to bump along here. Especially with this big political event coming up down in the United States this fall. I can't imagine a lot of people making huge bullish bets ahead of that event. Once that event is over, then I think you'll probably see some nice price action. So, once again, this is another name. It's at the bottom end of its range. In the bigger markets, I always use 61.8 to 78.6 as sort of like my reload zone. I like the idea. Over the past few years, I've been talking to people about in shitcoin land, if we can use that vernacular, that our reload zone is 78.6 to 88.6. Actually, that seems to work pretty darn well here. So, location-wise, I think location, you can go check. Which means that, if you're a little old lady, and kind of like Paul, I guess Paul's little old lady's got $20 to spend on each name, right?
For now, yeah.
Yeah. So
1% now, 1% if it goes lower.
Yeah, exactly. You want to throw $20 at this thing and then just put yourself on a dollar cost averaging plan? Maybe you do that like 10 times. So at the end of this whole purchasing thing, you got like $200 put into this. And then the damn thing goes 100x. Well, folks, that's 20,000 US dollars. So is it worth taking the next 6-8 months and just once a month buy $20 worth of this thing to have it turn into 15, 20 G's? I think so. So, the interesting thing, like I saw Paul's spreadsheet, is investment fund. I think he'll do very, very well with it. And this is almost like no-brainer stuff. It's actually incredibly cliche. The question ultimately, like Paul said, is, does the name go off the board? But if you have just one name go 100x, let's say you sold half on a double. So at the end of it, the name goes 50x for you. I mean, that one name can make up for 50 other names going off the board.
Exactly.
I wouldn't recommend that you shoot for 1 in 50, but it happens. And keep in mind, somebody could have very easily, check this out. This is the freaky part about this, is we can hit the rewind button and you could say, well, there's the bull market. And I'm going to draw my reload zones. And of course, whether you use Brian's sort of old-timer legacy stock market reload zone, or you use the shitcoin reload zone. Keep in mind, shitcoin reload zone, you didn't get too much of a window there. But look at that W right there. Like, oh my goodness. But had you gone and put $200 into this darn thing, like 10 purchases at $20, and let's say through this whole thing, right, you could come in maybe a little bit at Mountain, right, and then maybe a little bit in here. Maybe you picked up a little at 78.6, another here, a little bit more here. Hey, bought some of that down at never did get filled at 88.6. Maybe you got filled at like 81, right? And maybe buy a little bit more here, a little bit more here. Have I got my 10 purchases? So $200 worth? I don't know. Maybe we'll be really crappy with your fills. We'll say you got your average cost right there. So, boom, you're long, $200. Paul's plan. Can I get a 100x on this thing from 33 cents? Oh, not bad. There's 10x right there to $3. So now your $200 just turned into $2,000. Are you still long? Yeah, you could be. You pay yourself? Get the hell out? Yeah, it's up to you. Point is, you can see this was just recent. There's no reason why you can't do exactly the same thing, ironically enough, with this next coming bull. It's the same poop, different pile. It's quite remarkable. Yeah, I'm not going to say, again, same sort of thing here. Here's a good example. Well, Brian, I never got my 100x, so what the fuck? And now I'm right back in the pooper. Of course, I always say, sell half on a double, get yourself that risk-free trade. And really, I actually like the idea of just continually spoon feeding. So you might even have, like in this particular case, we went from 30 cents all the way up to $8. So, roughly 20x. That's not bad. How many doubles could you get off? For me, it would be 30, 60, 120, 240, $5, and that would have been my last one. But hey, nothing to sneeze at. All right, so nibbleable. I would say in the short term, and especially with our sort of commentary of, kind of feels like the market could take a bit of a punch in the nose heading into this election this fall. Seeing the very noticeable bearish divergence here in momentum. Also, don't have a bearish divergence, but RSI doesn't look very happy here. And actually, even had a squeezing of the Bollinger Bands here on RSI, which is like Sjord's favorite tool. Momentum, from a Willie perspective, just slowly cascading his way lower. Hell, you want to time your purchases. I always like the idea of waiting for Willie to get stupidly oversold. Doesn't guarantee it's going to happen, but I don't think you need to be a huge hurry. This is like the other one we were looking at, right? Probably if you want to try and time your purchases, I'm a market timer. Look how awesome I am. I would do things like draw your reload zones and then just wait for price to work its way down into, Paul's level, that kind of stuff. Can I get a W? And see if you can try and sneak in down here. And I always like, if I can, overlapping reload zones. So if I can get reload zones within reload zones within reload zones, that's an awesome trade location kind of concept. I'd also say too, this is probably a handy little thing for you if you're watching this and you want to learn something. Gaps on price charts are usually pretty good levels to see price come back to fill in. Although I don't really see too many gaps. This looks pretty clean. Oh, actually I thought I saw some gaps down there. Alright. Well, I wouldn't worry too much about that right now. What I would say though is I don't like the fact that this made a lower low here. So I would expect at some point that we actually do have to test that low. So if you're thinking about timing your purchases, I like the idea that maybe you just wait. If anything, as somebody said there earlier, right? They don't call it the fall for nothing. Just put yourself on a dollar cost averaging plan, or if you want to time your purchases, like we talked about the inverted head and shoulders concept there a few minutes ago. Keep a real close eye. Probably don't want it to go through that low, as Paul was saying there earlier. Although, for the record, David came back to me and he said, well, sometimes if you have a really hard reversal, like say like a railroad tracks, which is like a big red bar, something that looks like that, and something like that, and then the next bar is a big green candle that takes us right back up top. In those kind of situations, David was telling me that he's okay with it being a little bit beyond the left shoulder. I thought I might as well mention it. David is an absolutely killer head and shoulders kind of guy. So if you did get this kind of pattern that developed right off of this and kind of like maybe just swam around there, but a really hard reversal, then it's okay if this number is slightly lower than that number. But on balance, you don't really want that level to be taken out. So anyway, if you're interested, higher time frame, same sort of thing. It's fascinating how like 6 months ago, we literally went from a market that it was just like, oh my God, don't touch this stuff. Don't touch this stuff. Don't touch this stuff. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. You're going to get your ass kicked. To actually what I'm seeing is this stuff looks cheap. And you saw Paul and his little mutual fund there. I think he's going to do pretty damn well. Ironically enough, this is the only business that when stuff goes on sale, nobody wants to buy. And I would argue this is a really good example where this is going on sale, right? Or not going on sale, it is on sale. Everything must go. We lost our license. The whole damn thing. If you can just force yourself to start accumulating here. I mean, God, look at that. That's all open air up there. And you want to see something crazy? Call me crazy. Somebody try and remember this for the next bull cycle. But there's no reason in my eyes that we cannot go boom, boom, boom. And if you are a bull, look for that. Call me crazy. but I've seen this so many times. So here we are at $1, and there's $120 to $240. There's your 100x. Merry Christmas. Probably is going to take well into the next cycle for that to happen, but I would not be surprised to see that one bit. So actually, that's probably the image that I want to leave you guys with there. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I wouldn't mind having both of those images in the spreadsheet, but I don't think we have a column room for two. Just log scale. Interesting. There's a grand prediction for next cycle, eh? So Paul, there you go. That's gonna buy your Romanian ski chalet. 100x. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Next up on the list, people were asking for was. Who do we have next? KDA. What the hell's KDA? On Binance? I guess everybody's on Binance these days, eh? It's all the rage. Well, you know what letter of the alphabet I see? I always like these W's. It's interesting to see. Momentum. Oh boy, momentum looks really bad here. Looks like volume. See, this is probably something that would have Paul a little bit concerned about OBV. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. And actually, this is probably a really good example of those DAVO signals, right? So M in OBV, M in RSI, M in Willie. Willie never did go stupid, so that's good. But lots and lots of heavy downside momentum pressure here. So don't be surprised if we test, if not test, maybe even break these recent lows. The issue with this, right, is, and I suppose the very first thing I would say is this all the data? Where was this before? Why did it open up there? Quite often I see that happens with these altcoins. And it's actually like, well, actually this was actually listed on another exchange, and when Binance listed, that's where it came out. So can you even believe that this is quote unquote the bottom? I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, I suppose, and this stuff gets tricky, but you could try and do things like extensions to try and figure out sort of downside objectives. Obviously, parking garage, we've gone beyond that. But what we might want to do is like a logarithmic and then change this to... No, actually, that's not much of a difference, is it? Huh. Yeah, I would have thought that would have somehow projected down below. If we do things like Foggenbaum, we could probably do a Foggenbaum. Whoops. I don't know why that happened. Where the hell is 4669 on that thing? Yeah, see, I've never figured out how to do the Foggenbaums going down. Going up, it kind of makes sense to me, because it's sort of like a natural growth rate. Alright, so I changed the fibs to log scale. Now that's interesting. So maybe there's something to that. So you can see 2.618, we had a bit of a fight. We lost it, puked all the way out down to 4.669. It is interesting how this W did come in sort of around that area. It's not exactly, but around there. So, at the very least, technicians, bottom end of the trading range. Wicks and tails like to get eaten, but at the same time too, those tails actually show there is some buying pressure down in that area. Nasty looking short-term momentum picture. So if you're thinking about buying this, Probably like everything else we've done here tonight. Probably you want to throw on like reload zones and get shopping. Probably down in this area here. Where is the thing? There it is. Reload zone. There we go. So 78.6 to 88.6, the shitcoin reload zone. I kind of like that thinking, to be honest with you. Here actually is the first W that actually came in. So if I was thinking about painting upside objectives, I think I would use this W. So that would be there to there, and then there. Ah, interesting. Just missed by a hair. So, pulling back. Hey, there's Paul's Mountain Man level. So we'll see if it can pivot off of there. Considering the way momentum looks here, I find it very hard to believe that we're going to stop there.
Look no, left. I prefer 7.8.6 on that one.
What's that?
I prefer 7.8.6 at least on that one.
Yeah, down in there, right?
Yeah, too much selling volume.
You could draw a trend line off of, say, that low to that low. Right, so maybe somewhere right in that area there.
Yeah.
Probably also draw a trend line off of there to there. So I like the idea, and this is kind of a handy sort of tool if you're drawing trend lines. You're trying to sort of align things where, if you're a visual type person, which I am, I like to do things like draw a triangle in there, and then, when I see this on my screen, it makes it really easy for where I'm supposed to buy. Gotta wait for the purple triangle. So that's maybe something to think about. But, this is probably a good example where, okay, fine, we come into trade location, but maybe check out the indicators and make darn sure that the indicators are actually showing signs of bottom here before you go and pull the trigger, because that's a lot of really nasty negative indicator information, including a pretty nasty MACD bearish divergence failure here. Probably the best thing to do, and this is probably one of those kind of names that takes into the fall to ultimately clean itself up, is probably just give this some time to just clean all this stuff up. Let it work its way back down against the bottom end of range, all that kind of thing. So that's the image that I'm going to save for, what is this again? This is KDA. Yeah, we're actually gone through a few names here tonight, so that's kind of good. What time is it? Oh, it's already after 8 o'clock. So that's what I was worried about. Sorry for cutting you off there, Paul. It's just I was so worried that we were going to run out of time here.
No, it's okay.
All right, next person. Tiki, you already got a request, didn't you? Didn't we pick one of yours? I don't know. We got Sjord. Yeah, so we got to put Sjord to work. Get Sjord hooked up with Paul's guy. Because, man, those are some fancy-looking spreadsheets Paul's got now. Traveling with a toddler. Oh, boy, that's fun. Man, I had a 6-hour plane ride with Liam when he was 6 years old. Can you imagine a child with severe autism on an airplane for 6 hours? So, dude, right there with you. Oh, I remember that. That was not fun at all. Okay, maybe we'll do like one or two more. Hopefully you guys are seeing there's a bit of a theme developing here. Subic Dreams asks us to look at, what is that, CVP. So let's see what the heck that is. Sounds like kind of a fun name. CVP USDT. And what are you guys thinking? Actually, Paul, you'd probably be a good person to ask. What are you guys thinking about Tether these days? Are you even the slightest bit concerned about the whole stablecoin Tether?
Not yet. At least not me. I spread my money, and I'm not only in Tether. I have USDT on Binance for my trading account, but I spread my BUSD, USDC.
All right. Okay. Geez. Unfortunately, when you do look at some names, it's awfully difficult to always spin a positive story. This is one of these kind of names where I don't know. This doesn't look too promising for me. I don't mean to be rude. Please don't infer. Uh, you have these continual wicks here. Like, clearly something happened right here. So my first comment would be, what fundamentally happened right here? Something happened, and the floor just fell out of whatever this story was. And obviously, I don't know what it is. Paul, do you have any idea about this coin, CVP?
No.
All right. So, whoever was asking about this, Cole, you're such a troublemaker, Cole. Definitely have to show that. Anyway, so you're going to have to figure out what fundamentally happened on this day. Something happened. Whatever the project they were doing, was it hacked? Was it that one of the developers ran off with all the money? Whatever. Something clearly happened here negative. So my hunch is that until the market actually resolves this level and you actually start to see this thing actually, break back above that level and actually start to make market structure above there, really, they say you got to be like, I'm from Missouri. Paul said he's going to be back in a few minutes. So there's that. I don't know what the story is here. Who asked about this? Was it? Where was that? Where the hell was that person? Oh, here it is. Subic Dreams. Yeah, Subic Dreams. So, do you know what the heck happened here? I don't know. We could take some time and look up to this, but we're already over 2 hours now as it is. So, on something like this, maybe you're thinking, hey, it sure looks cheap and I'm going to come in and scoop up some cheap coins. Well, the problem with that is, how do you define cheap in this space? Maybe cheap is like 0.0038 cents, right? So you just don't know. What I'm concerned about here is this actually looks like a megaphone. So, whoops. If we go here to here, and then here to here. So this, call it a megaphone, call it an expanding wedge. The fact that every time they took the market up here, it just ran into a brick wall of sellers. Somebody stepped up and said, ooh, hey, I could get 50, 60 cents. Hit that thing! Right? Knocks it back down. Now, unfortunately, look at what we have here, right? Up, down, up, uh-oh, fail. So, dangerous. Until this thing actually does start Wing out, I think you gotta have a skeptical eye, let's put it that way. Suppose it was a good sign to see that somebody was continually buying. Then, of course, we had this big selling candle. And actually, that's interesting, right? Market was very, very bullish for a good portion of the day, and then just the floor fell out of the rally. So whatever happened here, on the other side, that's probably the day the dream died. Notice there just isn't that much volume since then. Now, remember I had said earlier, I want to paint a pretty picture, but until this bearish divergence is resolved, man, this is just one of those major cool your jets kind of thing. There's just nothing to be excited about there. That looks very problematic. So, I'm from Missouri, right? Give me some sort of W here, something that's showing me that the bleeding is stopped. And I don't really want to see this because, V bottoms need to be tested. Usually when you see this, after whatever this dead cat bounce inertia is done, look at the M's that came in here, which basically are solidifying a top. And then another M comes in here, solidifying a top. Yuck. So, hey, this is a good lesson in technical analysis. Kiran, our level 2 instructor, he loves to talk about this. Do you see how just this image right here is giving you a lot of market information? So do the bottoms, okay, so let's start off market information. Do these tops look like market structure tops? Especially this one. Ugh, yuck. Look at that. That's like a quadruple top in momentum there. Ugh. And this is really valuable information. Versus the bottom, straight down, straight up. And this one, straight down, straight up. This one, basically straight down, straight up. Even this low here, straight down, straight up. And then, instantly, another M. So, can you kind of see how the market is talking to us? Does that make sense? I actually think that the market is speaking to us here. It's just, number one, do you really want to hear the message? You probably don't if you're long. And really, if you're a bull, what you want to see is the exact opposite. So, it's probably not good to use this one in particular. But ideally, in a bullish scenario, I suppose over here would be a perfect sort of, bullish scenario. Notice like this little bottom. If you can find these little tight little bottoms like that, oh my God, they're so awesome. But notice this really hasn't done much of that, and I don't really see. The only place where we had some structural bottoms that actually looked pretty good was all through here, kind of thing, eh? So right here, things were looking kind of cool. And if you were a bull and you were enthusiastic, you'd be like, all right, let's rock and roll. And then all of a sudden, the whole damn market just fell apart. So I might argue that, sort of market information, right? That right there was a really bad day. Oh, and look where it is. So, again, I think half our job as technicians is you have to just sit back and just listen to what the market is trying to tell you. I think, actually, this MACD histogram chart, it's trying to speak to us. Unfortunately, you're probably not going to like the answer. So, that's sort of the situation with momentum. You can do the same thing with RSI. And you guys probably have heard me in my crazy talks about can you find M's in RSIs and do those M's go through 50 lines? What number is this? This would actually be a really interesting one. There is the 50 line right there, right? So that's right through this area here. So, a question I would have is what did price do? There's the 50 line there. So what did price do on this day? Was that probably a half decent trade signal there? We'll go like that, and really the break is right there. So in essence, right around there. Let's see what that was. Oh boy, that's right there. And interestingly enough, you can kind of see, like if we change this to a line chart, so that's right there. Can you kind of see this? I guess looks like head and shoulders kind of thing. So that day, MACD had already puked out, but that day when RSI line puts in that massive M through the 50 line, and then also too, you can see Williams percentage R also broke down through its midpoint. Very negative day there for this thing. So, as I said there earlier, I would like to paint a bullish picture for you here. Unfortunately, I just don't like what I'm seeing here. This is going to look tough. If you did want to try and hunt for bottoms, right? Yeah, I think we've established that this old low is definitely now sort of resistance. And you can see these spike up into this level. They were trying to take it up, but it kept getting whacked back down. So this is basically your trading range. And if that's the case, then, probably want to, the very first place you want to think about, is the bottom going to try and come in here? Is your reload zones, right? Good old Brian and his crazy ass reload zones. So, interestingly enough, probably a little bit early for a guy like Paul, but nonetheless, he likes his 61.8. if anything, this is a really good analogy of the 61.8 works great in sort of senior markets, and you could even argue that tag right there, 61.8, led to that rally. Quite often, what ends up happening is it'll come down. You know, a guy like Brandon in the crude pits, he would just simply buy this level. Then any kind of move back to sort of the mean, he would let half of it go and then just put his stop at scratch on the remaining and just see what happens. So if this thing does somehow inside bar here, then W out, and momentum all starts turning back up and this holds, he's still long. But my hunch is that that's not going to be the case. He's probably going to get stopped out on the remaining. And then, you know, if we're talking about, I think this is a shitcoin, I really like this thinking, guys and girls, is the shitcoin reload zone, 78.6 to 88.6. And I do kind of like a revisit against this bottom end of the range down here. Now, as I had said earlier, one of the major problems that I have with this is this was a lower low. So as a result, I think what you have to do is you have to wait for the market to come down into these levels. You have to actually start seeing signs, maybe even like a sign of a divergence, where maybe the market actually makes a new low, but the indicators stop making new lows. We get a counter trend rally down in here, which fires the divergence. Then you get a W, and you actually get your trade. So you can see this thing's got a lot of work to do before it's even remotely close to being a buy. Probably also too, you know, if you kind of think market symmetry. I was doing this with Bitcoin with you guys recently. Notice the sell window, and then the buy window, and then the sell window. You know, I'm actually looking for a pivot in the Bitcoin price here coming up on August sort of 18th, 19th, which is basically through the weekend. Now, is there anything fundamentally happening in the marketplace here on the 19th that, you know, if you guys fancy yourself as sort of professionals in the marketplace, you probably should know this. Paul, you have any idea? Anything big happening on the 19th of the month here? Hey, look, he's over there.
No, I don't. Let's just take a look at the reports on traditional market, but
yeah, well, so this is a options expiry. It's a big monthly options. Thank you, Cole. And you know, Bitcoin's prime time now. And actually, I even suggested to the site. In fact, actually, I was going to do that in Daily Brief, but I forgot to do that today. But we probably, you know, if you want to see where Bitcoin price is going, probably the best thing to do is to go to the Montreal Options Exchange. You guys probably never even heard of the Montreal Options Exchange. And you know, probably head down to Chicago and see what's the options open interest on stocks like that coin, and on like Sailor's stock, and all the various different crypto proxies down in the States. So I like the idea that things are probably going to be weak. Ironically enough, they probably don't have a hell of a lot to do with Bitcoin and crypto itself. It's more just a function of this big options expiry coming up here. I don't think this CVP has anything, you know, even remotely associated with all that. But the sentiment of the space probably is going to be, you know, affected by that options expiry. Having said that, you know, this one in particular, I don't think there's a huge hurry to go and buy it here today. And like we see on the screen, probably somewhere around 2 bits. That's probably where you want to take a good look at it. Okay, so I'll take this link and CVP. If anything, it was kind of fun. We got a few names here to look at that were kind of new, kind of different. We got one of Paul's mutual fund names on the review here this week. So if anything, maybe that's kind of good. Maybe once a week we'll grab one of Paul's mutual fund picks and pick apart levels. I don't know.
yeah, good idea.
Ben, if you want to play with this kind of stuff and fill it out, I've given you some basic charts. The good part about it, what I see just looking at all of this, is I don't think that the market is overbought. I don't think you're walking into a trap. It's just I think we're probably pretty early. And if you do buy stuff, you're probably going to be sitting on it. It's not a bull market yet. Still lots of sort of political uncertainty. And there's also a really good kind of a side thing for you, but if you fancy yourself traders, you probably should know this. What's the cost of money? Believe it or not, I actually think that this crypto cycle moves very, very closely with the cost of money cycles. Maybe this is something you've never seen before and you're not really that familiar with it. This is the corporate interest rate market. Basically, it dictates actually what the Fed has to do. We kind of did a study here heading into this interest rate rising cycle. What is sort of the average rise in interest rates, short-term interest rates, when you have to go through one of these rising cycles? And it actually came out to about 3.5%, believe it or not. So you can see actually, yeah, I have here 3.48, 3.46 right here. I suppose that could be a little bit bigger. So interestingly enough, ironic, no pun intended, you can actually see that we are basically at that average. So I think actually this is going to be a little bit bigger than average. But more importantly for you guys looking at this sine wave of the way the money cycle works, and keep in mind this is basically everybody sets their watch to this in the legacy markets. There's an old expression in the market, don't fight the Fed. And that's basically what this conversation is. While money is getting more expensive, your venture cap, your speculative part of the market's not going to do that well. So you can see based on this sine wave that my expectation is that this cycle comes to an end. Ironically enough, just about exactly 1 year from today. So, ironically enough, with that sort of thought in mind, if we go and look at things like the Bitcoin 4-year cycles, I could very easily see that we actually have to go through a period like this was the last sort of money bottoming cycle. Remember, there's where the Fed came out with the sickness, said, hey, you want money? You can have all the money you want. Here it is. Merry Christmas. And look at what the damn market did. So could we be going through this part of the cycle right now? And I don't even think it's not even a rhetorical question as far as I'm concerned. I think we're very, very close. I think this is a perfect analogy of the market. Are we right here? Are we right here? Are we anywhere in sort of this window? We all know reload zones. You can draw them yourselves on Bitcoin. You know what they look like. So we're in this sort of area right here. Could we go through a year period while we wait for the Fed to finish their money rising cost of money rising cycle, and we have to get to the point where the Fed's like, all right, we like stimulus now, so let's all see growth, and woohoo, things take off. Could we see a market that looks something like this on all of those names that we looked at? Absolutely. I think this is exactly what's going to happen here, folks. So could we still have another little, 50% haircut into the U.S. election here? Because keep in mind, I think I showed you earlier, this U.S. election, here we are in August, and there is the election in October, November. So make no mistake about it. I think the market could be a bit heavy. But at the same time, too, if you don't fancy yourself a big fancy schmancy market timer, can you just come along here and just every few months, like Paul was showing you, go and throw $20 into your favorite names and just dollar cost average your way into these things? And then once we get through that money tightening cycle, you're set to go and buy Lambos on the other side of it, 2024, 2025? I think so. So that's basically where we are, folks. Opportunity is now here. No wrong way to say that sentence. There we are, reload zones. I do like the idea, there's A, B, C, D. I do like the idea that we have to come down into this area. Also, too, you notice that's where basically the POC is. Did a bunch of cost of production studies on Bitcoin. And they are a lot of them. Actually, interestingly enough, a lot of the cost of production studies are actually going down now. So that's a bit of a surprise. I was not expecting that. So anyway, yeah, I don't know exactly where the bottom is, but I do like the fact. And if I was a broker and I was running my broker business and I had little old ladies as clients, I would just simply tell them, look, you like the Bitcoin story? Fine. Let's pull up Paul's plan. Let's pick some of his names on his mutual fund list, and let's get in there and start dollar cost averaging. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Well past the top of the hour. Maybe about 2.5 hours there tonight. You got a great look at Paul's business model, so way to go, Paul.
Yeah, thank you.
I think Paul gave you a pretty good idea of what he's seeing in the market, and I like how clean his charts. My charts are all messy as hell, eh? But I think on balance, I think we see the same thing. So, any closing thoughts from you, sir? No, Ben. Hey, Ben, if you're still watching on the airplane, give us a prediction. 1, 2, or 3, or 0, or -1, -2. I don't know. Let's Ben, while you're listening, if you are listening, give me a vote on YouTube. We'll pencil you down, and yeah, you guys were horribly wrong. I'm not sure what the hell this line means. Remind Brian to tell where that line came from. What the hell is that in reference to? Oh, with the extreme prejudice. Hey, Paul, did you ever figure out where that comes from? Let's see if anybody on YouTube knows. It's totally non-crypto, but what the hell? Does anybody know? I'll add in the other word that's missing here. Terminate with extreme prejudice. Any idea what movie that comes from, Paul?
Me, no. Someone posted in the last YouTube the name, but
all right.
yeah.
All right, anyway, it comes from a movie called Apocalypse Now. And what's fascinating is it's Harrison Ford, the guy who was the star of the Star Wars movies. He played a bit part in that movie, and that was his line, so go figure, right? So I was neutral with extreme prejudice, and actually it looks like I had the right thinking there.
Yeah.
So, Paul, what do you think? What's your grand prediction going forward? You're going to give another +2, aren't you?
No, +1 this time.
No, just one, eh? Okay, right. So
Yeah,
he's
just
tempering his enthusiasm a little bit.
Yeah, because we have to clean up a little bit.
All right,
I'm thinking at the end of this week we can clean up and then up again.
Yeah. So the question is, where the hell are we going to be next Wednesday?
Yeah, exactly.
Interestingly enough, I think actually we're heading back on the upswing when it comes to the sine wave, eh? So we had to go through this, and this was the reason why I was a little bit leery, is that I thought, ugh. Now, where's next Wednesday? Wednesday is the 24th. So that takes us, here, look at that. Oh boy, I think I got to be bullish here, boys and girls. Paul's going to go with +1. Excuse me. Is that? Yeah, that's you, right?
Yeah, +1.
All right, yeah, I guess I'll go with the 1 as well. So we'll see how we do. Ben, you want to make it? Ben, where are you, Ben? Come on, Ben. Yeah, I guess the plane's going through a cloud right now or something.
Yeah, he'll post on the spreadsheet after the show.
Yeah. Okay, why don't we? I guess we'll put that centered. Where's the centered? Centered. There we go. And ones get yellows, eh? Come sit next to me, you fine fellow. Alright. And we will put a big question mark. Ben, what are you thinking? So fill that in when you can, Ben. Alright. Closing thoughts. Now, Paul, of course, is very original with his closing thoughts every week, but let's see if he says something new today.
No. Nothing new. Just manage your risk.
All
You know
right.
what I say. Treat
Slow.
market like a business, and
Yeah.
market will treat you damn nice like a king.
Well, I did like the fact that you were saying that you basically just batted 50% this week, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Wait, at the end of all that, were you profitable at 50% win rate?
Yeah, yeah. I'm 8 to close to 10% profitable. Ten
Fantastic.
percent up. Yeah. So
So what an interesting analogy, right? Thanks, great. And actually, that was when I was in university. That was scary. That's how long ago that was. Anyway, so 50% basically coin toss. In fact, actually, I was even talking about that earlier, wasn't I?
my win rate is close to 60%, but
But even
on that
still, even
plan,
you know,
yeah,
you go through a shitty period where you suck horsecocks, and
yeah,
you're batting only 50%. You're still profitable, you bastard.
yeah.
So
But it's normal to be profitable because I hunt more than 2 to 1.
there you go. Oh, now he's getting cocky.
No, but I hunt 2 to 1 at least. The minimum is 2 to 1, but I get 4 to 1, 3 to 1 sometimes. So
Yeah,
at
damn
at
straight.
50% win rate, I'm still profitable.
And I'm sorry, where did you learn how to trade? Okay, I
I
know
don't
there
know.
was.
It's a site TRI, something like that. I don't remember.
All
Definitely
right.
on TRI. I
For
tell
whatever it's
everyone,
worth, you want to be a professional trader? I
go on
tell
TRI.
you, Paul's pretty damn good role model. And I don't know actually where the hell we have it, but how the hell does this work? Anyway, usually we have a banner ad right up at the top of the site because we have a new school term starting. But I don't see the banner here. But anyway, usually what I do is I direct people to therationalinvestor.com/learn. Let's see what pops up there. Yeah, so you can get to know our class program, all the different levels, and I think actually we even have a a nice testimonials you can have here. Really cool. I mean, great write ups here. Um, and then we have this really cool marketing page. I'm not quite sure where it is. Like I said, we should probably get it up and running. So if any of the marketing department happens to be watching this, maybe you can help me figure that out. But we should probably have the banner. But you can always come to TRI and you can take the 30-day trial and just sit and listen to us um, in the daily briefs. I mean, we have a video library here that, geez, it must be I don't know, 10,000 hours worth of content. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on endlessly. What is that? 126 pages of videos, and all searchable, right? So if you're like, hey, I want to look in, I want to see what that Beamish guy thinks of that EGLD, right? We can look at that. But we probably should have that banner up at the top of the page here for the new school term. Reason why I went down all this road is that if you would like to learn how to become a trader and just learn exactly what Paul's doing, I would highly suggest that you take a serious consideration of joining our education program. And our next term starts here probably in a few weeks. We do have a big sort of Portugal meetup coming along here in September. So the interestingly enough, Graham and Shartoshi, I think actually both of them are on the west coast of North America, so I don't think they're going to be in Portugal, and they basically run the level 1 program along with Peter. Not quite sure where Peter. I think Peter's in Germany. So I don't know whether they want to start the program in earnest beginning of September, or we wait for, we might do like the meetup that we plan to have is on the 17th, 18th, the weekend of. It's a little bit late in September, but what the hell, we always break the rules around here at TRI. And we might actually even have a raffle for a seat in the level 1 program. So you could even get the seat for free. That's not such a bad idea. And then maybe we'll start the fall term when we come back from Portugal. So if you're interested, pop on the site. Maybe we'll get that banner up and running ASAP, and have those links all up and running for you. Probably the best thing for you to do is maybe check out the weekend show, the Broiler Chicken show. I think this coming weekend I'll make a concerted effort to have the show producer, director, Chris, put together that raffle document. And like I said, we'll have the banner running across the top of the page of the website. And then that'll give you the sign-up thing for the raffle. So maybe you can win a seat for the fall program for free. That would be kind of fun. So, got that coming down the pike. Look out for that. And, the proof of the pudding's in the eating. And that's why I actually like to do these shows with students and with alum, is to actually see people who have taken these programs, what they're doing in the marketplace. And I got to say, I'm very, very proud of the hard work Paul's put into his education. Clearly, he's acting and talking and speaking and conducting himself like a market professional. So he's made it. Way to go, Paul. You did it. You can go make all the money you ever want for the rest of your life. Isn't that a nice treat?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so with all that said, thank you very much for your assistance tonight, Paul. Good luck on the flight there, Ben. Sure hope you land in one piece. And the little one, of course, not giving you headaches, or little ones, how many you're traveling with. Look forward to seeing you on the call sooner rather than later. Be sure to check out the website, 30-day trial if you want. Just come kick the tires. And, the whole reason why we put this show together originally for you guys was we really wanted to get a booth up and running in Decentraland, to have these videos just basically running 24/7. We do have an Ethereum donation wallet address that's specifically for that purpose. If you felt like you got really good value out of the program tonight and you'd like to throw a couple bucks our way to help get that piece of property purchased and the booth built, we'd love you immensely for it. Hit the like button, subscribe, ring our bells, ring Paul's bell. Ooh, that'd be kind of fun. Ring Ben's bell, ring Brian bell. PMA for the win. Hope you guys all got a bit of value out of the conversation tonight. All the best, and I don't know, Paul, let's see if Paul's up for it. Sometimes he tells me to go screw myself. But Paul, what do you think? Can you take us on out of here tonight?
I suck at this thing, but okay, if you want.
There you go. The only thing left for us to say tonight is...
Bye for now.
Mr. Condescending.
No,
Bye, everybody.